Hey, we're back. It's the movie club with friends. Stop giggling.
Why are you using a sexy voice?
I wasn't. I didn't think I had. I didn't think I had a voice on. Honestly.
Hey there. How you doing?
Hey.
What's going
Hey.
on?
I was waiting for your.
Anyways, we're back. This week of Movie Club with Friends, we watched About Time, or is it called It's About Time?
No, it's about time.
It's
Seriously?
About Time.
No.
It's about time.
About
So the title of the movie is About Time.
yes.
Okay. Who's in this movie, Julie?
Wait, what?
Who's
okay,
in the movie? I didn't look it
Am I
up.
the actor guy?
God, I just Googled how to.
Dumbledore.
Yes. Just Googled how to say his name. Donald Gleason. I think that's how I pronounce it. I
Yep.
just messed that up. Rachel McAdams, Bill Nighy, and a bunch of other wonderful people. Margot Robbie.
Okay. So this was a Johnny pick. So we'll hear from Johnny. Why'd you pick it? How'd you like it?
Yeah. So the reason why I picked it is because I found this movie when I was going through kind of a it's gonna sound really cheesy, but after me and my previous ex-girlfriend broke up, I went into this like phase where I wanted to watch like romantic comedy movies kind of thing. And I don't know, this one just like stuck with me throughout. It kind of, and two, with it, there was another part in the movie that kind of stuck with me too, because my dad passed away like five years ago. So in the movie, spoilers, there's kind of that death topic that they preach about. So that kind of
so sad.
yeah. Also,
Super sad.
Yeah.
Johnny, you and I deal with breakups very differently. Like when I'm going through a breakup, I'm like, let's watch the murder movies.
Jesus.
Yeah, don't fuck with me.
I kill people. Real people.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why this movie is so enjoyable for me. I'm gonna give this movie a 9 and a love. And I kind of just wanted to talk about like the things with it that I try to take away is that you know, in the movie it kind of feels like you're cheated out of like a life that he's living, but towards the end he kind of tries to throw it back onto the audience and tell them that like, you know, you can be exactly like me, like everyone can be. It's just like you try to live every day as if it was like the second or third time reliving it, and try to notice the things that you didn't quite notice the first time. So
I love that. But like the part of the movie at the end of the movie where he was just like, I don't even travel back in time anymore.
Exactly.
yeah.
That was
And-
the
Does that mentality
secret
stay when
to
he
his
gets older, closer
power.
to his own death? Is my question. Can he actually live with that for the rest of his life, or when he gets closer to his own death, will he need to travel back more and more, just like his father did?
Probably.
Yeah.
I probably would.
Probably. But one thing I wrote down is that like a lot of people in this world kind of look up to you know, celebrities or just other people in their everyday life that they think is like, wow, that person has it better than me, or like I their life is perfect. And but you know, even with this guy, with Rachel McAdams and what's the guy's name?
Tim.
I'll just call him Tim. Their life still had those daily ups and downs, the struggles, the difficulties. Even if even with his power, like, you know, it felt like it was such a topic that like everyone can relate to, and so it just shows that like everyone's going through something. And it is trying to teach you about self-love and trying to find the happiness in your life.
Every
and not
day,
try to,
boring life, yeah.
not worry so much about your future or anybody else's, and just kind of focus on yourself. So, I'll let some other people go, but yeah, I'll chime in here and there.
Okay. Julie, you get bumped up to number 2.
I definitely think it's Jared, because Jared.
Is leaving. So.
Oh, right. I forgot we talked about that. All right, Jared, what'd you think?
Okay. I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10, and I liked it. I was really a little cold in this movie during the first parts of the movie. The main character was a little awkward, and I have a hard time watching that awkwardness.
Really?
Reminds you so much of yourself, Jared.
Yes. Actually. Now, after he got into the relationship for the final time, after that it was pretty much smooth sailing. I could talk about the themes of this movie. Johnny did a little bit. Everybody else is probably a little bit too. So I want to talk about some notes that I had instead about this. I was thinking about this power, this traveling back in time. It only goes to the males of the family. My first thought of that is, I would never want to have 2 sons if I was that person. That feels like just trouble waiting to happen. That's how fucking Time Wars start.
So maybe at some point he did have 2 sons, but then he went back.
He changed one to a girl, right?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking that is a viable solution. On the other hand, that's actually another good point. Why does the butterfly effect only seem to affect his sperm or his children? I feel like going back in time should affect everybody's children, because just the little interactions you have could have changed everything. Obviously, they mentioned at the beginning the butterfly effect doesn't really apply that much. That's fine. Those are rules, and they established it early.
I think it's something like he just kind of fucks her differently, and then one sperm gets ahead of the other.
Yeah,
one.
what I'm saying is,
Oh yeah, that's what it is. It's
change your
8
sentence.
strokes instead of 60.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys notice the little interaction between whenever he saw Charlotte again, like after the movies? The first time he went up to her, she said something to him, and then the second time, she said something entirely different. Like, it was the same, like, saying hi to him, but she said it was just slightly different, and I think that's kind of like what happened. It's just that butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Monumental for some things, but...
And I just felt it wasn't really monumental, which is fine. I didn't mind that too much. Overall, I really liked the movie. I liked the relationship with his father, and overall, I felt like he cheated life a little bit just by having this power, and I was super jealous. Just because that feels like it'd solve a lot of issues. Just getting a lot of fresh or second chances at making a good first impression on certain things. It'd be nice. I was, like I said,
Or second chance on literally anything. A test.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could literally
Great.
one day pick the lottery numbers for the next day, and you're
Yeah.
Well, that's what the dad, because the dad talked about how his brother or
Yeah, but if you do one big thing and to get the money, and you don't spend your entire life on it, though.
Yeah, you just do one
Yeah.
thing, you save it up, and you just don't have to worry about it ever. You can live a normal life.
Well,
I don't know.
why doesn't he just find out the numbers to a winning lottery, go back, pick those numbers, and then he doesn't have to worry about trying to make money? He's
No, that
on
whole
that.
thing-
It's just made
That's what I just said.
The whole thing is if he went back and got the number, or if he had the numbers and went back and picked them, it might not be the right numbers. If he had them.
Suckle on my tittles. Sorry, go on, Jared.
Anyway, I'm pretty much going to end it there. I just any time travel movie, I'm thinking about the time travel. I did like the relationship and all that, though. 7 out of 10. I called my dad afterwards.
Aww.
Ah. Okay, well,
Jared.
are you now going to bed, Jared?
Yeah, I'm going to make lunch for tomorrow and then go to bed. I'll see you guys later.
Everyone say
Bye.
good night to Jared.
Good
night, Jared.
Right.
I refuse.
Okay, so Julie.
Okay. It's funny. I knew Jared was gonna talk about time travel. But I am really glad they really didn't focus in on. I don't know. This movie's so good. This is one of my favorite movies. I was saying it to everybody else, but it's been 3 movies of Julie's choice by chance, 3 weeks in a row. I give this
It's
movie.
always all about Julie.
What can I say? Even by chance, even if you try for it not to be about Julie. But yeah, I give this a 9 out of 10, and I loved it. This is a fantastic movie. What I love about it the most is because I'm really not a rom-com kind of person. Like I've never really cared for them, for no particular reason. I just like as soon as I watch them, I really like them, but I just never in the mood to watch them, if that makes sense. But this movie is not. It's not like a normal rom-com because it's like it is a love story and it's about the husband and the wife getting together, but it's really a dad movie. And like from the very beginning of the movie, it like starts off with like Tim and his dad's relationship, and I think like like throughout the movie, like it just keeps coming back to them, and obviously it's like the climactic. It's part of the climactic ending of the entire movie, and I think their relationship is just done so well. It's so wholesome. It's such a like I think it's like if anything it's like a very like father-son relationship that I think would bring me some envy. Like I think like I like to get along that well with your dad is just really cool. And I mean like and I get along really really well with my dad, but I just think that their relationship are like they have the most chemistry in the entire movie in my opinion. Like they have so much chemistry. And Rachel McAdams and Domhnall Gleeson did an amazing job together. Like they were adorably like awkward for each other. But I just think that the dad is just like I don't know, it's just phenomenal. I have like other things to mention, but I think that's what I'll really say. I think I want more dialogue than for me to just go on tangents. But I will bring up one quote that I really really liked, and I don't know why. Like I keep repeating this, but whenever the dad is explaining to him that he can time travel is like the cutest, like the most like awkward moment ever. I just love the dad is like, just get ready. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. Like this is gonna get ready for spooky time. Like I just like, and like ever since I watched this movie, I'm like, get ready for spooky time. Like I don't know, it's such a great movie, and at the same
Spooky season.
Yeah, and I also love how like in that same scene, like he talks about, oh, I should probably get a better haircut. Tim says that, but he never gets a better haircut the entire movie. He gets the same exact haircut. And I don't know, I just love the dad and like the dad's sarcasm with like, oh, it would really be nice if it can get me a girlfriend. He's just like, wow. Not that. I don't know,
like the mothership or whatever.
Yeah, that's the mothership.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
Jeff, hello, welcome, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff's here.
Hold on, I need to hold on. I'll be right back.
Yeah, we can have Garrett go.
All right. Let's see. What did I like about this movie? Probably most of it. Honestly, it was just an overall.
Wait, Julie, did you
nice.
give a rating?
Yes, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Loved.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Missed it.
Oh well, you didn't mean to, Tanner.
No, I didn't. Yeah, but I did.
It's just an overall nice, heartfelt movie that teaches you, I guess, to appreciate family.
And life.
And life, just in general. Just enjoy the moments you have, I guess, is the moral of this story.
Yeah.
You can't go back in time to fix your mistakes like Tim, but
I did. Yeah, and you can't go back in time to make someone love you.
Yeah. You don't need to, is what he learned at the end.
Yeah.
I guess my rating would be 9 out of 10. Loved. I don't know really what to say. Although one thing I noticed is whenever he traveled back in time, did he have to live his life back all the way? No, because
No,
he would go
back to a
travel back
closet.
forward.
He would travel back forward.
But his dad said he couldn't travel back forward in time.
No, he
No,
went
he
back to the
can't.
period he was in by going to the closet doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I
he
guess he
traveled
could
to the
technically-
present.
I guess he could technically write it as long as he wanted to, right?
Yeah.
Well, his dad did to read every book twice,
Yeah,
and Dickens
exactly.
3 times. I love
Yeah.
that. His dad is just like talk about a person who just wants to enjoy his family, retire at 50 and read a bunch of books. Like, what a dream.
So
God.
his dad probably lived like thousands of years, I guess.
He could have, I guess.
Well, because didn't he he relived every day twice.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing, like what you said, like you can go back in time as far as your children, or like the last one.
Hmm.
Pretty much stay there and just relive that life all the way up until the end again.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, he could just have an infinite life. Like his life,
True.
even though like he's
dead, but
life
like
is he's still alive in some timeline, just going back in time.
Do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think there's like multiple timelines going on then, or?
Yeah.
I don't think
No,
it was
there is, for
multiple.
sure.
I don't know how to put it to words, but it's weird because, like, okay, he's dead at a certain
All the times
point.
are going at the same time.
He's dead at a certain point, but, like, when he did go back to see him when he was dead, it kind of seemed like he was like, oh, like, I'm dead. Like, this is where you're coming from. Like, he, like, knew.
Hmm. Well, I think he was very aware of that he was dying, and him and his son, or Tim, were very, like, he was very open with his dad. And when he would come and visit, he was just like, oh, like, why are you looking like that? Like, oh, it's the funeral. Like,
Yeah.
today is the day I died. So I think, like, someone who I can't help but think that if you travel so much and live your day, like, and you're so well read and well educated, I can't help but think that you are a person who can really understand that. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think that's what he does so well.
What also
Well-
probably happened with his dad, right? Like,
Yeah.
Probably.
like you would assume that he probably, like, you don't know their relationship obviously, but you would assume that he experienced something similar with his dad.
Yep. Exactly. And I think, I think that's one of the things I really loved about Bill Nye is that he just played, like, talk about a person who's gone through and experienced the existential crisis. Obviously, he hasn't actually in real life, but, like, he played really, really good, like, wholesome time traveler, with no ill intentions. So did Tim, obviously. Like, Tim didn't have any ill intentions.
It's an interesting story because it is like they are just regular people, and it's just kind of saying that, like, I guess maybe the majority of people maybe wouldn't try to, like, start shit and change
Well,
their life too
also,
much. Maybe
the-
I don't know.
The dad learned from his own dad and his brothers
Yeah.
about what not to do and how you can fuck
True.
everything up with it. And then he just wanted to pass that on to his son and just be like, that's why I feel like he told him everything about him whenever he first told him about the ability to travel in time. He's like, well, you don't really want to chase money because look what happened to your uncle.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, it's just, I think, giving Tim the knowledge to make smart decisions on how and where to time travel.
And I think it's really cool. I mean, like, like, this movie's so about family. I mean, like, even in the beginning, it talks about how every day up until he moved away, they had, tea on the beach. Like, they'd watch a movie together. Like, this family.
Yeah, every Friday they watched a movie, and
They spent so much time together, and because that's one of the things I thought about. Because, like, what I would be most worried about is if I had, like, honestly, like, if my kid was kind of a shitty person, because sometimes that happens, and, like, to have that power to time travel.
I mean, technically you could not tell him; he would never know.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just think it's cool. Like, obviously, this family spent a lot of time
Well, I think that's-
developing the family together.
I think it's also why they try to, like, wait until they're older before because they apparently his father told him when he was 21, and I think his father told him when he was 21.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they wait until they're, like, grown, so they don't make stupid decisions,
Yeah.
or
That's a good-
at least like as much as they
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, and it
They're still
also
20.
before we started the recording, I think we talked about how you could just go back and cheat on tests, and I guess that's not really feasible whenever you're 21. I mean, I guess you could
could.
do college tests, but
Well, you also could go back to your other test and
oh yeah, I guess so. But I feel like that's just so long ago. You're like, oh, I can live with that decision.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I just love this movie so much.
And it kind of, like, doesn't it kind of make you think, like, he doesn't even go back, like, whenever he first figures it out at 21, the choices that he made before then, he doesn't decide to go back and change, except for the one. Like
Yeah.
all the things in your life that maybe keep you up at night, like thinking like, oh wow, I wish I regret this kind of decision, but like it kind of just goes to show that like some of those things are just so minuscule in the
Like when
grand
you
scheme of
when you
things.
finally get this power to change these moments, you're like,
Yeah.
you know
Is it
what? It's
worth
not
it?
really worth it. Yeah.
Hmm.
I do like that he goes back on New Year's Eve to go kiss the super awkward girl, because
Yeah.
like he shakes her hand, and I was just like, "What are you doing to?"
Yeah, that was hard to watch.
It's really hard to watch.
And she's just so happy after. Like you just like, oh my god, he just like made her day, made her evening, like just by kissing her. I don't know, it's so good. But he really doesn't go back that often. Like I mean, obviously, I think he abuses it at first. You know, like the whole you know, like when Margot Robbie putting sunscreen lotion on her. I just love like the dad in the background, just like so disappointed. He's just like. Just like love it. He's just like screaming, like running to the door. Oh no! Oh no! 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 Just love
But
it.
like, I don't know, like what kind of fucking hoe is she? Like, who asks? Why not just ask like her friend?
That's what
Like
I
in
thought
front
too.
of the entire family, like the dad's there too.
That's what I thought too. I'm not here to
Anyways,
judge.
Did you have anything
Why are
else
you
to say,
slut
Garrett?
shaming Mike?
Yeah, why does it matter?
It was just a whatever.
A quip.
Yeah. Did you have anything else to say, Garrett?
No, I think that was it.
Okay, we can hear from Tan the man, Tanner.
All right. I'll probably also give it a 9 and loved. Very emotional movie. No one really touched on like the sad parts that much yet.
Yeah, I was waiting for you, Tanner. I actually wanted you to talk about it.
I legitimately cried like 2 or 3 times in this movie. Like it was so sad, and like I haven't like I experienced like the loss like that. You know, I mean, I guess I kind of have, but not in that like that sense. Like I haven't lost my dad. You know, I haven't lost stuff like that, or an uncle or something like that. So that whole period when they're talking about him dying and everything, I was like crying. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! This is so sad." And they're the way they express the emotion in the movie is so well done. Like when the uncle was like, when he said he loved me at your wedding, that was my best day ever, and this might be my worst. That broke me. I was like, "Holy shit, that was so sad." Because he's been such like a silly, like a lovable dude. And he doesn't really like express that much emotion, and then he says that, and you're just like,
that moment was the hair on the canvas back for me too, man. It fucking broke me.
Oh my god, you could feel him. His just like he was deflating.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, oh my god. It was really interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting to see Tim's decision making as he like continued on. Like when he had met up with Charlotte again and with Margaret Robbie for that dinner, and he like redid it a couple times, finally got it like perfect, was going back to her place. I think he like realized as he was doing it, he was like, it took me so many tries to get to this point. Why am I like, yet when I'm with Mary, I can live my life normal. Like she loves me how I am. I don't have to like watch how I step. I'm not like eggshells. I'm not having to redo every day. Like I think that's why he was like, he ran home and was like proposing to her. Because at first I was like, well, why did he do that? And then I thought about it and I was like,
yep.
Oh shit, he probably did it because he realized as this was happening. First off, he probably is not the type to cheat, and he didn't really seem like the type to cheat so much. I can't really tell. It's hard to say.
It was so funny when that scene was happening. Gabe and Garrett were both like, "I don't like this movie anymore. Like he's about to cheat. Like fuck this movie." And I'm just like, and I just like looking at them like, just keep watching, guys.
Yeah. And
they're so like that though. That would have ruined their day.
Yeah.
What made me get
Gabe and Garrett just cross-armed, just shaking their head.
Like, what a shitty movie.
It's been too predictable.
Yeah, I mean, I partially thought like maybe he's gonna like relive his life again. Like you're gonna like see that like the end of the movie would be like him going back and like living a different life and seeing
When
how
that
that would
scene
be.
happened, I was hoping he wasn't gonna have sex with her and then go back in time and
Act like it never happened.
Like yeah, like I just want to do it once.
Yeah.
Like,
So I was really glad
my
that
God,
that
I was gonna be
happened.
mad
Yeah.
if that happened.
That's
Yeah.
what a normal person would do, I think, in a not movie setting.
Yeah.
People with
Probably,
a little
'cause
less
the-
moral
because
compass. Because you
it's-
really, you don't have any. You're
There's
not
no
gonna-
repercussions.
Yeah, no repercussions whatsoever.
Like literally none, because you go back in time and you didn't do it. Oh well, there it is. Like.
Yep.
What else? It was. The other scene that really broke me was when they went back in time, him and his dad, to when he was a kid, and
Yes.
oh my
Okay, so
god.
that was the scene that I'm sure many people here teared up a bit because I definitely did as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one
No,
was
I was.
Michael?
probably the best moment.
I am not giving my opinion until it is my turn.
Michael's
I,
still facing it.
This is the third time I watched this movie, and I was still bawling my eyes out. So sad.
Yeah, it was so good. And it was also interesting to see the internal conflict of him, when Kit Kat got in the wreck, and he immediately was like, "I gotta fix this." He went back and he told her that you had to break, or he told her about his power or whatever, and they went back, and she beat up whatever his name was, dickhead. I can't think of his name. And they come back and she's with Jay. And they're getting married or whatever, which ends up, spoiler I guess, but it doesn't really matter if you're watching this. You already heard the spoilers. Ends up being the relationship anyway, and they have kids. But it was interesting to see him he made that choice. He was like, I want the kid that I raised. I don't want this random kid. She's gonna have to suffer through this.
Yeah.
Well,
We can fix it without going back in time, which I think was the start of him realizing he doesn't need to go back in time to fix
Yeah.
things.
It
He can
it says something when it's I don't want to take the easy route. We have to actually work at this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was such a moral dilemma for me when I was watching the movie, because I was just I don't know what I would choose, because yes, this kid is the kid you raised for however young. You don't really get an age really of what they are. You don't know any real ages. But however old the kid was, but Kit Kat was your sister, one of your closest people.
Said it was
for
her 21,
20
Yeah,
yeah,
his favorite person in the
21,
whole world.
21, 22 years of his life.
Yeah.
And he chose she's gonna have to suffer through this because of the kid changing. I was like, that would be really tough, because while it is my kid, it's never want to see someone have to go through that, especially because she was all sorts of fucked up.
That's a level of love that I have obviously not yet experienced personally.
Yeah.
That's something that I would really like to talk about with my parents, or even like to talk about whenever I have my own children.
Yeah.
Because that's true. But I know, I mean, from what I've heard from talking to people, even if your child is only 6 months old or a year old, you just love that little person so much,
and that's what I'm saying. For me, what you said, I don't have a kid. So when I hear that, I'm like, well, shit. In my opinion, where I'm at right now in my life, I would probably go save my sister. But that's because I don't have a kid. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what the difference between he came back and it wasn't his kid.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he viewed it. It's that's not my kid anymore because I don't know who this kid is. Yada yada yada. And then the other part where he had another moral dilemma was having another kid.
Yeah.
So
That meant he could never see his dad again. So it meant the death was real for him.
That's actually one of the things I thought, and maybe you guys can explain it, but I didn't think it was that good. Was when he brought Kat back, she was like, "Oh, I'm with Jay or whatever, and oh, he's adorable, and I love him, and blah blah blah." So when Tim went back to his present,
he didn't have those memories?
Wouldn't his memories change, and he would love that baby?
I had to, because I thought about that too. I had to cope, like, I don't know. I related that with, like, he's the actual time traveler and she was the time traveler's guest.
That's
like,
and that's kind of what I came to. Was
No,
just,
that's how I viewed it, because if you go back and you look at like how he was doing it, he always had the same memories he had.
Yeah, because
His memories never changed.
He lost Mary's phone number, but he had never met Mary, but he knew who Mary was.
Yeah, and also
yeah, and I know that. So that's why when Kit Kat goes back and her memories change, it's why.
Well, they also went back again, didn't they?
No, it was just the one with her.
I thought he went back to make it so it wasn't. So when he went back again, just like make the kid his kid again, she wouldn't remember any of that happening because it changed again.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
so she did lose that memory of his powers altogether, but
Yeah.
when
So she might no. We don't know if she had that memory of if she knew or not. We don't know because he went back immediately after and made it so that she didn't experience that. So she could have had the memory of it, but we don't know because we never see we don't see an exchange when that happens.
Hmm.
Because after that he comes back to like the present, he sees the kid, he's like, oh shit, I gotta fix this. Goes back, now she's doing the same shit she did before, and he's like, listen, you gotta fix this, like,
yeah.
break up with him. Jay's always had a crush on
Well,
you.
I think he waited. I think that's one of the best scenes ever, like when it comes, into my opinion, like for sibling stuff, because he never tells her like she needs to stop dating Jimmy, or she needs to stop dating
True,
Jimmy.
yeah, they just sit there.
They just
Yeah.
sit there.
They're like, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah. They're just,
Which
they're
is also
just
something
there
that's
for her.
kind of, yeah.
Right, so they're showing that we're not going to leave your side until you're better, and you know, I think it was kind of implied that like the boyfriend never even showed up.
That's how I
Yeah.
saw it. I don't think the boyfriend ever came.
Mhm.
Um,
No, fuck Jimmy.
Jimmy, that's his, yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah. Fuck
And then like as they were talking about it, he like was like, oh yeah, Jay's always had a crush on you.
Yeah.
Can we please talk about the first time Tim and Mary have sex? Like, can we just talk about that?
That was hilarious.
Can we
It really hit close to home, man.
just like,
Because when she was when she was laying in the bed and she was like, no, it was okay. I
no,
was
it was
like,
lovely. She said it was
it was lovely,
I
yeah.
said it was lovely.
yeah. So I've like. I've had times where I'd lay there and like they say the same thing, and I'm like, okay, cool, awesome, I did a good job. And then he goes back, and I'm like, wait, she said she had a good time, dude. What are you doing?
My life is a lie.
Oh, I was like, oh.
And it is, because she's just being really nice because she likes you and she hopes the next time will be better.
Oh boy.
But
So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to say. I really like this movie a lot.
yeah, I just I'm just still thinking of that whole exchange, like because there's so many times with Tim is just like just fucks up, and then he like just makes himself look like a pro. I'm like, oh wow, you really know your way around bras. He's like, well, I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shut the fuck up, Tim. You don't know shit about bras. And then when he goes back with Margot Robbie and whatever, like her friend that was a lesbian, he's just like, oh well, just so you know, you might want to be careful with that, because just like, Tim, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why is he so bad at social interaction?
Yeah, and she's like, I am a lesbian.
Yeah, you have a problem with that? I'm just like, what are you saying? Because it does sound like you have a problem with it.
Okay, so
Oh god.
let's hear from Gab.
Alrighty, so I like the movie a lot, like everybody else. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10 and liked. And I guess I'll just kind of talk about some of the points I have. The first point I had was I actually felt a little bit bad about, oh gosh, what was the main girl's name?
Mary.
Charlotte.
Mary,
Oh.
there you go.
Oh, the main girl.
Yeah, the main girl. I kind of felt bad about her because she was, in a sense, getting the best parts of him, and I felt like that was being manipulative to a degree. But he didn't do it that often, so I kind of got over it really easily. Plus, I mean, we talked about the point where you can't make somebody by using this power make them fall in love with you, like with Charlotte.
Yeah.
So it all kind of like got resolved.
I
mostly.
thought the movie was gonna be about her finding out about like him using his powers to make her love him. And then like that was gonna be the whole thing, is like trying to win her back and stuff.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't. Like, I'm really glad it wasn't, because I would hate to like just see him chasing the whole time.
It'd have more of a I guess points in the movie where you weren't as happy as you could be, besides his dad dying. I guess there'd been 2 parts of the movie that would be kind of sad.
Mhm.
So other than that, we're gonna play really quickly Michael's fun game. Who was hotter, Mary or Charlotte?
Oh man.
Mary for sure. Oh
Mary
my god, it's so easy.
Mary for sure.
Jeff and his bangs.
Jeff and his bangs. Okay, so
I like
Whoa, she has a great face and everything too. I like her eyes and her smile.
at
Yeah.
first
The bangs were nice though.
at first glance, I'd be like, "Oh, Charlotte," right? But then once you get to know them, it's Mary.
We're talking about hot, not.
Well, for initial glance, Charlotte, but for
Then there it
like
is.
personality and look.
don't know.
He said
Mary.
the sister.
She looked good in a bikini.
That's for those wild nights in Europe.
I love Rachel McAdams so much. I do love the part when they are in the darkness, the blind restaurant, and he's just like, "So what do you look like?" And like, I'm like, "Oh, I look like Kate Moss," and like, I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "No, I look like a squirrel."
Yeah.
I just like love that. It's so funny. And then when she gets out of the restaurant, she's like, so like, and he's just so excited to be with, to I don't know, get her number and stuff. And she's like, really? Like, you even like, like, you like my brown hair? Like, you like this?
When he was standing there, he was just like, "Don't be fat, don't be fat, don't be fat."
He was so nervous. Like, you could tell though. Like, you could tell. Like, God, Domhnall Gleeson did such a good job, because like while he's just standing there talking to his talking to Jay, like the redheaded friend, he's just like he's just so nervous and excited, and just like you could tell that he's just getting in love with her already. Like, he just loves her already.
It was
But-
fucking phenomenal.
It was so phenomenal.
But it was so easy for them to talk whenever they
Yes.
weren't, like, when they couldn't see each other. That was the part that was like so cool about that.
Yes, it was awesome. It was so good.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was saying. Like when he had to like walk on eggshells with Charlotte, but when she was with Mary, like he didn't even have to like really redo that much. Like,
Yeah,
he
Tanner,
just,
that is
like,
so
redid it.
well said. Like, you said it way better than I
Mhm.
could have said it. Like, that's like I
That is
completely
a
agree.
fantastic point. Yeah.
When you can feel like you're in your skin with the other person, your
Yeah.
true skin, then you feel really comfortable. Then you're with the right person.
Aww.
Sometimes it means too many farts, though. I'll be honest.
That's part of my true skin. Kind of seeps out.
You said you love
Kinda
everything.
Kind of seeps out. Okay, can we talk about Rory for a second too, and how he forgot his actual name when he was talking to Charlotte? Since we're talking about hotness, because that's also one of my favorite parts of the movie. He's just like,
Just look
"My
at her
name is-"
breasts.
Rory's so cute.
Yeah, Rory is so cute. He's just like, "Oh, my name is Roger." He's just like, your name is Roger. It's Rory." He's like, "Oh yes, it's Rory."
My name's Roger.
I'm like, Rory's adorable. I just love him so much.
Anyways, Gabe.
So another point that I probably don't want to talk too much about because I don't have much to say. The mom didn't have many scenes, but I really liked her personality.
Yeah, whenever she said she was fucking furious because she can't imagine
She's like-
living without.
Yeah, like
She
a life
can't
worth
enjoy it.
living.
She's like,
Yeah,
my life
there's-
is not going to be interesting at all without him.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
world won't be
Yeah.
interesting anymore.
That was
Yeah.
a really sad but sweet
I
moment too.
loved that quote. I love that
her
quote.
personality was really great.
Yes, no, I think her personality is phenomenal. Even the part where she tells Mary, like, "Oh, you're so pretty." She's like, "No, I'm just wearing like lots of makeup." She's just like, yeah, I see. Well, that's good. Like, you don't want a girl to be too pretty. It makes them to not develop a sense of humor and a personality. I just like love her. Then she's asking her Mary about all her insecurities.
Yeah.
She was pretty impactful considering how little in the movie she really was.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mom was great.
The whole family was great.
Yeah.
Like Uncle Donald, was that it? I don't know.
Desmond.
Desmond. He was hilarious. Oh, who are you getting married to?
Yeah.
I always felt like there was like a weird.
Oh, good. Good.
Who's the
You're
father?
really awkward if someone was someone else.
I just love that.
Johnny,
Did you guys get like a weird relation? Did you guys feel like there was a weird
When
relationship?
the sister and him
When the
were.
sister- Yeah.
Yeah, John.
I don't think anything.
Maybe that's just their culture.
I don't-
That's just their culture.
I don't think anything
Skinship.
sexual was implied. I think it was just kind of like, I don't know. That's just how she shows her love for him.
Yeah.
No, she does that to everyone, but it just
she
seems
just
like
kisses everyone, like very, very, very intensely kisses
Flower
everyone.
child.
Yeah, when she was kissing Mary, man. Oh. But
Kind of paused the
boner.
movie.
Yeah, I had to take a little break.
So one thing we kind of already talked about, but it was probably my favorite scene, was whenever they both go back together to when they're the father and the son.
Yeah.
And what I like most about it was, and I'm not going to assume anything other than this, that they both thought about the same moment and both went to the same moment together.
Yes, because they weren't holding hands.
Yep, exactly. So they both knew where they wanted to go
Yeah.
and where they had the best day of their life together, I'm sure.
God, it just makes me like want to cry again. It's such a beautiful scene.
So that was really great. And without touching on that much more, the very ending, I had a slight problem because I think it could have ended a little differently, in my opinion. And it was mostly because he said he's not using his power, and I get it. And for the movie's sake, it's a good lesson to learn to live your life to the fullest every single day. But I think it would have been really great if, like, at the very end, he's like, "Yeah, I don't use my power much," and then, like, while they're showing, because he's narrating whatever they're showing on the screen, and then it shows him like fuck up drastically, maybe at work or in the house or something, or say something to his wife or something, and then it shows him like dash off, and then him say something like, "Well, not all the time, or sometimes I do it," like something cheeky like that. I think that'd been kind of funny, and make it more realistic, in my opinion, because. I think I'd still use it, just not as much, because you did learn all those lessons to where...
I feel as though that would... To me, I feel like that would cheapen the movie. I don't know. I think it...
It would have been a
was
quick
kind of
aside, in my opinion.
I think it would it would take away from like him actually what he learned and to be like, I don't need these powers because
That would have been like in a symphony. The ending is always the slow fade out, the slow violin slowly fading out, and then there would have been like a little crick at the very end to kind of jump at you. That's what I feel like a cheeky joke would have added. I mean, I definitely would have enjoyed it, but it wouldn't have. To me, it wouldn't have added value to the symphony.
yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have liked either. To be honest, I think that.
I don't think it would ultimately ruin or change anything about it.
Yeah, I'm we all have different things, I guess, what we're looking for in a movie, and
Yeah.
for me, I was thinking, in my head, well, that's not that realistic. I mean, you, the only fucking person in the world who has this power, you probably still use it.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
if he broke both his legs or his back, I feel like he'd be like, wheel me into a goddamn closet.
Just having that conversation with your wife. Just
pissed off. Just
I don't want to
keep it
fuck
down.
with you anymore.
Or as it's happening, you're in pain. Just get me in a closet.
Yeah. No, I don't need an ambulance. Just put me in a closet.
Go away, turn the lights off.
So yeah, that's really all I got.
Okay. Late boy Jeff.
All right. So does my voice sound good? Is this too loud?
This sounds perfect, Jeff.
Okay, all right, good. So, another week, another John pick, another roller coaster of emotion. And man, did I punch that ticket.
You
Getting
fucking...
At the beginning of the movie, the early stages, I thought to myself, God damn it, John, now I'm lonely and sad. Find love, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. And then, throughout the movie, I was just like, oh, this is beautiful. And then the emotions of the father, the father and son, that hit me so hard. Before the movie started, I was like, I know I'm going to love this movie. I know it's going to be great because John loves it. And anything that John loves, I know I'm going to love just as much. So I watched all the way through. And of course, I'm sure as the rest of you, I cried. And it was beautiful. And there was a moment shortly after the father and son scene in the beach when I thought about my family. And I thought about, what if my parents weren't here anymore? What if I was in this house alone right now and they were gone? And it made me think about, what really matters every day. There are a few movies out there that really make you think about certain things and really touch your life in a way that it makes you want to change who you are moving forward. And I think this movie did a really good job at that. So thank you, John, for showing us this movie.
Such a good movie. I thought all of you would cry. That's one of the reasons why it's funny. I'm so happy that Giant chose this movie. I mean, I talked about that enough. But literally the reason why I was going to choose this movie was because all of you just I don't know, it's just so many dad stuff with all of you guys. Even with you, Jeff, your dad is still here, obviously, but you just love your dad so much that I know that you were going to be like me, and you're going to be falling too, because I can't imagine a life without my father right now. And I just at the same time, I thought it would be really cruel to choose it because of all of you and your dads. So I don't know. So I'm glad Johnny did it because Johnny.
So my score, 9 out of 10, loved. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because I haven't watched it 20 times. That stays reserved for Ip Man. So until I watch this movie about 10 more times, it's gonna stay at a 9. But
I'm still always. I'm not judging or anything, but every time you're oh, Ip Man's my favorite movie, I'm always just why? I've seen it, and I'm just it wasn't that good.
It's a really good movie.
I don't know. Hitman 1 and 2. I could watch them an endless amount of times, but this conversation's for another day. Right now, we're talking about this movie.
Yeah, don't do this right now, Mikey.
Okay. Were you done, Jeff?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I felt nothing. 2 out of 10 hated it. Good night, everyone.
Not even. Texting us crying emojis.
Oh man.
Okay, let me bring up my my little notepad here.
This guy literally texts the group and says, "Fuck you, John."
I did have. Yeah, you're right. I did have one more thing to add. The part where he goes back in time to make sure Mary doesn't meet her original boyfriend.
Yeah, that was hilarious. When
that's a little fucked up.
Douche.
Yeah, when he's what a douche, and she's yeah.
I mean, they seemed pretty happy together, You just decided, no, we're gonna get together.
Yeah,
They didn't sound that happy together.
No, she was cringing when he was talking.
Yes.
The dude said Pookie butt or whatever, and she was like, "You can't, we can't say that out loud."
Yeah.
We have to work on what you can say out loud or something like that.
But if Tim said that out loud to her, she'd love it.
I just love that whole interaction with Tim because
No,
Tim is
I
just
don't
like
think she would.
losing his mind. He's just like, no, but where? But where is the
Yeah.
party? Where?
Yeah.
But he's like,
Where
"But
exactly? I have a very
Yeah.
vivid imagination.
I need to really experience this. And then like she even tells him like her apartment number. I'm like,
Yeah.
this person's a crazy person.
Yeah.
Do not tell this man your apartment number. Ugh,
Okay.
so funny.
So the first thing I would say is I really wouldn't call this a rom-com. I think it's kind of, the first half or quarter, sure, but
You could call it a romantic movie. Like,
But it
like
really-
comedy in a way.
it really is just like a drama, or
Drama.
a feel-good movie.
I would call it a romantic movie. There was
Well, okay, there is romance in it, right? But it's more of the story of this guy's life. And at first, it's like what's important to him is just getting a girlfriend. And then that turns out to be his wife. And then it turns into growing older and starting a family and...
Dealing with death.
Yeah, dealing with death and just evolving and going forward with life.
you could say that was romanticized.
Sure, but I just wouldn't say this is a rom-com. When Johnny
No,
first
no.
said About Time, and I looked up the poster, I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to watch some, like, 28 Dates or whatever it was called, like, with Adam Sandler movie.
50 First Dates.
50 First Dates, yeah. So another thing is the uncle. I really like that character.
Told you.
Two scenes when he's like, "Oh, I want to see the baby," and Tim's like, should we not let him touch it?" And this uncle, he's like holding it like so gently and so lovingly, and he's just like, "Oh, okay," and it's just a really nice moment I liked. And yeah, the whole thing about the father's speech and saying that he like loved him, and that was like one of the most important things. That really,
He literally said it's his best day of his life.
Yeah, it
And
really,
he said that, like, he was one of the only like men he's ever loved. It was his best day ever.
yeah, it really,
And then when he heard about the cancer and him dying, like, that was his worst day ever. I was like, holy shit.
yeah, that scene
loved
got to
him.
me.
Got to me, man. I was okay until like the whole dad dying thing up until that point. And I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah. So, to me, the movie seemed unpredictable. Like I talked with Gabe, I really thought he was going to cheat on her, and then he didn't. Or I thought the movie was going to be about him trying to give up his powers to win her back or something, right? And then, of course, it didn't turn out to be that way. What else have I read here? So, yes, I too have a dead dad. I'm a member of the Dead Dad Club. I laugh, but it's really sad. So yeah,
He laughs to cope.
yeah, just God, I can't even remember exactly what they said, but it wasn't the scene where they were at the beach. It was the talk they had that led up to them going back to that moment. I can't remember what they said, but I just remember I was like, that's when I was crying, and that's when I was texting John, like, you little so and so.
He was telling his dad that, like, he's gonna have another kid,
Right.
basically.
Right.
And
So
he's saying, like, no, this is never gonna, like, we're never gonna
yeah, I can't see you
be able to
anymore.
see- Yeah.
So yeah, the movie is not. It is about not living in the past, and it's about moving on and living in the now and for the future, because he chooses, right. Everything is
Also
basically
making the best of everything, too.
yeah. Everything is leading up to that moment, that scene with him and his father, because you have the rules of the time travel being told to you at the beginning. You see how he uses it to make his life better, but then the one time that like something so important to him changes, and it does seem like he can't change it back, with this like perfect life he is forming for himself, as the baby is different when he helps his sister. He chooses the baby because he loves his family and his children so much. And so yeah, the scene where his wife Mary is like, I really want to have a third baby, because in his head,
really hard.
in his head, it's like he's like, you know what, my dad's dead, but it's okay for me because I can go back in time and I can always be with him.
Yeah.
Right? That's why he's not that sad yet. But then when
I
she's
was a
like,
little selfish for took the sister back. I understand why in the end, kind of why he didn't, but he was like willing to do it before, but he didn't do it.
yeah. So
Death. Anyway, sorry.
yeah, so then like, and so he's sitting there and she's like kind of bugging him, but he's not really listening to her, right? He's thinking, and he's just like, you know, I do want to have another baby, and I have to let go of my past and my father. And basically, yeah, it's just, it's so weird. It's
a hard decision. I thought about that a lot. I wasn't. I don't know what I think. You know, in all honesty, I think I would be really selfish, and I would choose not to have another child. Like right now, that's what I would think.
I really feel like the whole movie that was written for that, just that end part, just to making that decision, and they used it really well with the babies being changed, and yeah. So I'm gonna say, I'm kind of like Jeff. I'm gonna say 8, and I can't say I loved it yet because I haven't rewatched it like 10 million times like my other favorite movies, but I did really enjoy it.
Jeff gave it a love.
Oh, well,
just to clarify,
I'm not throwing out the love.
He's agreeing with reasoning behind it,
Yeah.
So just to go back to the scene, I think that might have made you emotional too, Michael. Was it the part where the dad is just like, I quite let myself down. I let myself, like, you know, like I hugged you, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like when
I don't like physical contact and stuff because of reasons and stuff. So I don't really want to talk about it. Yeah. I didn't want to talk about that scene. Not for anything like.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah, it just
I didn't know.
just so
Okay,
whatever.
on a super side note, Bill Nighy, who played the father in About Time, is going to be coming out in Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie in
cute.
2019.
Also Davy Jones in the
he was Davy
Pirates of
Jones.
the Caribbean. I didn't know
That's
that.
not as exciting
Who's
as coming out in a movie.
Baby Jones.
Pikachu.
Davy Jones.
Oh, Davy Jones.
Oh, you thought you said Baby Jones?
I said
I was
Baby
like, what the fuck
Jones.
you said?
What is Baby Jones?
Hey, it's me, the pirate, Baby Jones.
Baby Jones.
Regardless, if you wanna, if you haven't seen this movie, I would still recommend watching it because
Oh, 1000%.
it's really good, and even with the spoilers, you will feel things.
Yes, you will.
We can't really convey the emotions in words. Like it's really tough.
It is tough.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Even if you haven't had anything like that happen,
Oh.
it's just
Well, I think
It's
I
brutal.
think even without being a member of the Dead Dad Club, you can appreciate it because it is about family
Well,
and life.
and they
Unless
made
you're
the
born in
dad.
test
Shut up.
What did he say?
Unless you're born in a test tube. But
He's
like
Papa Scientist.
they made the dad so likable and so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
down to earth and so like just dad. Like he was just a dad.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the feeling you got from him when you watched the movie.
I think even if
So
you had
watching him die, it felt like shit. Like
I feel like even if you had like a deadbeat dad that you hated, you would be like, man, I fucking wish I had a dad I loved, man. Fuck this movie.
Oh yeah, I feel like the movie would mess you up almost more.
That's what I mean, though. Like this movie can give you like some little bit of dad envy. Like, and I don't even have that kind of dad envy. But I
This
can
movie
see
hits
how
on a
it
lot
can
of different. Sorry, go ahead, Julie. I cut you off.
No. I finished. That was the end of my sentence. You cut off the end of my sentence.
Period. There, I'm done, Jack.
Yeah, then that's just basically why I say I wouldn't even classify it as a rom-com, because it is about it like a father and son relationship, and about living in the now and moving on into the future. Not living
Making
in the
the
past.
best of every day.
It's and for Tim, it's literally not living in the past, and like
Yeah.
the most living in the past sense you could do.
Yeah, because he spent all the days up until the birth, or the day before, quote unquote, of the birth, like
Mhm.
going back every single day. I feel like, and
Yeah.
spending time with the dad.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because it's what it felt like to me, at least.
Now, when you think about it, it kind of takes away from the movie, because couldn't he just like go back, see his dad, and then go back before the time that he went back, and then the baby would be the same?
Let's not overthink it. But...
You know what I
Just
mean?
enjoy the movie. Just enjoy the movie.
So Tanner, he would go back, see his dad, come back, and then the baby would be different. But then he would go back before he went back to see the dad, and then not go back to see the dad. So then the baby would stay the same.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
not
think
following.
he would have to do everything the same up until the point where he went back to see his dad. Like I don't think he could go. I don't think he could go back in time, fix whatever he did, and then go back forward in time. I think he'd have to live through. I'm not sure, but
That's just, I don't know. Time travel.
Technically, I feel like
it's weird.
could kind of, but
Anyways, so next week is a Tanner pick, because it was supposed to be you last week, but Johnny went.
yeah, fuck Jeff. All right, I have 3 movies in mind, and one sticks out the most. Cat in the Hat.
Oh yes, let's watch the Cat in the Hat next week. Cat in the Hat, beautiful. See you next time.
Wasted.
But the other 2 are The Greatest Showman and 3 Billboards outside. Well, what is the movie called?
Abington.
Living in
uh,
Missouri.
I've
Yeah.
been wanting to watch that movie really bad. I haven't
Oh,
seen it, but
I actually watched it recently. It's really fucking good.
so one of my bosses
I
was the one
haven't
who
seen it
told
either.
me about Time. He told me about this movie about Time, and the same boss told me about the Missouri movie.
Yeah,
and,
3 Billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, and I really trust his opinion. Like, he watches really great movies. So
Yeah,
and The Greatest Showman is fucking fantastic too. So I think you should
Yeah.
just choose.
Abington
Yeah.
would be a good one. Great Showman's really great, but I can vouch the most for the Cat in the Hat.
Okay, that's 3 votes for Cat in the Hat.
I vote for the
Who
other 2
was
because
the
I haven't
third?
seen either of them.
We,
Who was the-
me and Gabe combined for 3.
I have seen the first 2. I have never even heard of 3 Billboards. So
Yeah.
Okay, that does make me feel like I should choose the other one. I
It's-
have
it's-
watched 3 Billboards, but it's actually really, really good.
It was an awards movie, right?
Yeah, it was nominated for
Yeah, it's kind of one of those awardsy movies.
Yeah.
where That didn't get as much.
It's shockingly good. Like I didn't really expect much watching it, and it was really, really good. And I'm not gonna go much more than like. I feel like you'll like it. So it feels like more people haven't watched that. So I'll probably go with 3 Billboards outside of
Cool.
Missouri.
So 3 Billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri is available on HBO Now and HBO Go with
God.
a subscription. It is $14.99 on every other rental
Oh.
service.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Why do we keep picking movies that cost money?
3 bill.
I'm sure we can find. I'm sure you can find it on Redbox though, because it is like
Yeah, it
in
just
that
came
amount of
out.
time. It
What
just
is Redbox? Is that
You might not have a
where
Redbox.
you rent DVDs?
Let me check it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I found it. Don't worry. I can watch it.
Okay, cool.
What subscription service you find it?
It's on Canadian Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Just your buddy's HBO account.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, before the FBI breaks in my door.
Pull out 4-4.
Yeah, we'll so go watch 3 Billboards, and we'll see you next week. Say goodbye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
We love ya.